An admonition bad one. The Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Adewale Egbedun, caught some personnel of the Nigeria Police Force extorting money from youths in the state. In a video posted by a Twitter user, the police officers tried to hide their faces when the Speaker and his companions approached them for an immediate refund of the extorted money to the youths. Let's share this video with you.
Stop the youth in Osun State. And they collect money from the youth. They make transfer to the police, and the Mr. Speaker is collecting back the money right away with immediate effect. This is the officer. Mr. Speaker is here.
Officer, come here.
Mr. Speaker, taking it easy with them. This is the police.
Well, Bikeo, despite the hue and cry by Nigerians, vis-a-vis the police officers' operations in Nigeria, what will readily come to mind is police again.
Yes, there are too many bad eggs in the police. Every profession has its fair share of black legs. The police do their best to weed out these black legs, but it will seem that there are so many of them that no matter what steps you take, it will seem like you are not trying to sanitize the force. I know how many of these guys have been dismissed, will be paraded, deranked, and then sent packing from the force. But they are not learning anything. They are not learning anything. Policemen using POS machines, they extort money from people. I mean, how can you do that? Because it will leave a trail. I'm not teaching them to collect money in raw cash. But how can anybody think that you can use POS machine to extort money from people and get away with it? It's terrible. It's terrible. I like the fact that the speaker, a very young man, confronted them and so that to refund to these young boys and girls what they are taking. In these difficult times, we are all pushing through it the best way we can. But young people who are themselves dependent on their parents and all that, the little that they have are taken away from them. It's very bad.
It's amazing. Adewale Yusuf, it's very customary for the police, especially when they see our youth, who they say they're not serious. Maybe a lot of them are engaged in internet fraud, like Yahoo, whereas not all of them do it. But the police seem not to have learned from the NSAS saga, because it just keeps going on and on when it comes to extortionate attitudes.
Yes, you are right. And the Nigerian police as an institution don't seem to have learned any lesson at all from the terrible incident of 2020, the NSAS, crisis. And the best way to know this is still business as usual in the police stations, in the roadblocks, in everywhere. The police is like, without collecting something from people, it's like they are not in business. So you wonder what has changed. Of course, I always commend the police hierarchy. Anytime this kind of issue has come up, they always move swiftly into action, and that I always, appreciate. There is no time you bring up this thing, they won't sweep it under the carpet. You can be sure that these bad eggs in Osun State, they are already regretting that they even joined that force. Just take it as a given. They will be thoroughly dealt with, dismissals, everything they are doing to them. But why has it not deterred the bad eggs from having a change of mind? So they still continue to do the same thing. I think I love this, and my takeaway from this, that, at a time, the people they are trying to extort are the people going to Osun Osogbo Festival. They are not only youth, there are people that are going for the Osun Osogbo Festival. And I think as at the time the speaker, came in, they had taken like 25,000 from like 2 or 3 people. They didn't have enough money. You say, oh, you can do POS, they can do transfer. So, and the police, some of them, policemen, they seem to have, devised a very terrible means, carrying the machine around. So if your this thing is not working, don't worry, we have it. Bring out your ATM.
They are not afraid of being traced.
They are not, no.
Yeah.
They are, even if you want to catch them, they are not afraid. So my happiness is this is something from a young man, because that speaker is a very young man.
Yeah.
And using that to now say that he was even praising those courageous fellows that opened up, because if they didn't tell him,
right,
he wouldn't know. As he was saying that to build a Nigeria of our dream, everybody needed to be on board.
Absolutely.
And that responsible citizens make responsible countries. Right. And that's my takeaway. I love that aspect.
Right, we need to race on because of our time. But then before we race on, BKO and Adekunle, I read a story on WhatsApp where a police officer, stopped someone for 3 hours. The person was begging. In 3 hours or 4, the police officer collected, 30,000 naira. The person got to Ogere, en route to Lagos, and the police called. He realized that an iPhone 14 was on his seat. So he was not asking the question, should you return the iPhone to the police, or what would happen? I think we should leave that to Nigerians to chew on as we race on to other issues.